allegations. John Sparks, Sky News in northern Zimbabwe.
Well, I'm joined now by Marshall Gore. He's chairman of the Zanu PF executive here in the UK. That's, of course, Zimbabwe's governing party. Very good evening to you, Mr. Gore. First of all, give us your reaction to this charge that your government is brutally attacking protesters and human rights activists.
Well, we have had violent protests, and anywhere where violent protests do happen, it's very difficult to contain them. So, in the event of containing the violent protest, there could have been misuse of force by the law enforcement authorities, and I'm glad the president has picked up that and said it should be investigated, and those that misuse their power should be investigated, and if they are found guilty, the law should be put on.
So these abuses, you are saying, would have been carried out independently by the security forces with no knowledge of the government?
There are unconfirmed reports at the moment, so we are waiting for the investigation that the president has commissioned that it should be instituted. But, Dermot, let's be also clear that these were not peaceful protests. These were violent protests, wanton destruction of property, arson, other civil liberties of other citizens being violated. So it was a difficult situation.
But I just get this sense of the security forces going rogue. I mean, a lot of them seem to have been involved then. You know, it's not just a few of them. If we accept these reports from the Human Rights Commission in Zimbabwe, says 240 incidents of assault and torture, reports of 12 people being killed. It looks like policy.
At this present moment, there are a lot of unconfirmed reports. But what I want to say to everyone watching this program is that my sincere condolences to the family that lost their loved ones as a result of the violence, whether it came from security forces or it came from the mobs that were disturbing. And let's not forget that some of them were also armed. It's a regrettable, unfortunate situation that we are in, but as Zimbabweans, we must come together, condemn it, solve it, and continue to move on.
Well, condemn it, solve it. I mean, how independent is this investigation going to be? And it must be very worrying for a government if it has lost control of elements of its security forces.
There are unconfirmed reports that the government has lost control of its security forces. There were vigilantes that were also seen holding guns within the protest. So that's why an entire investigation is required to get to the bottom of it. No one is blaming anyone at this moment in time, but the president has made it very clear that if there are elements within the security forces that misuse their power, therefore they must be investigated and justice should be put upon them.
Presumably it was the government that ordered cutting off the internet, so there can't really be this international scrutiny. I mean, it looks like you've got something to hide.
Nothing to hide, Dermot.
Why was the internet?
Well, the High Court of Zimbabwe has come in and said that it was unlawful for the government to do that. That's sheer courtesy that we have got the rule of law in Zimbabwe. Okay. The High Court has ruled against its own government.
But why?
So we are in the right path.
Why make the order in the first place?
Well, there were circumstances that caused the order to be put in place. There were a lot of misinformation that was going around within social media, incitements, fake images imported from elsewhere being circulated. So the country went on a high alert, and I think under the circumstances, it was the right thing to do. I'm not saying legally it was the correct thing, but if it has to be done to protect lives, then it's the right decision to do, but legally we can discuss.
Okay, well just tell me how independent this investigation into the activities of the security forces is going to be, and what level of scrutiny, international scrutiny, will there be?
The previous investigation we had involved people from outside the country. So I'll be thinking that maybe this is the measure that the president is going to take again. We've been open since the new dispensation, Dermot. We are moving towards democratization. Yes, it's a course, it's a process, it's taking time, but please, the world should not judge us as a result of this. They need to give us a chance.
Well, I mean, President Mnangagwa has been given a bit of a chance, hasn't he? I mean, he came in, said things would change, the economy would improve, and if we're measuring him on that, he's been a disaster.
The economy has not been a disaster, Dermot. I don't know if you've been following us closely.
Well, I just described soaring debts, inflation. I mean, this has been sparked, has it not, by a doubling of petrol prices?
We have a new economic policy, the Transition Stabilization Program. We've already started to see signs of growth in mining, in agriculture. This season alone, we recorded 850 million intake from tobacco exports, the highest in the last 10 years. There's increase in production in agriculture. Horticulture exports in Britain, for example, have increased in the last 6 months from 30 million previously in 2017 to 54 million in 2018. That's progress, measurable progress. We will get there. You need to give us a chance.
Well, this was a message that we know Mr. Mnangagwa was going to take all the way to Davos and the World Economic Forum. It's pretty unlikely in these circumstances, isn't it, with these pictures and this level of scrutiny into what's going on in Zimbabwe that you're going to get that level of foreign investment that you require?
Dermot, every country has its problems. He's not the only one who has pulled out of the trip. Our Prime Minister here, Theresa May, she's pulled out of the trip. Donald Trump, the same. So these are global issues going around, and we are part of the global world. We have to rise up as Zimbabweans and deal with our problems. Hence, the president
Very
is
different
called for
problems, though. I mean,
But
even on your economic problems.
the president is called for dialogue. His door is open to the civic society, all the opposition parties. Let's come together as a nation, find ourselves, get over this, and continue to move on and develop our country. We need to grow our economy.
But calling for dialogue with the opposition, I mean, again, according to reports, and again, it's difficult to verify because of the state of the internet, but according to reports, this is coming from Nelson Kamisa, who's obviously in charge of the opposition party, the MDC, saying that 4 of his MPs have been locked up. This dialogue is going to have to take place in prison.
Those are unconfirmed remote data. And let me say clearly, the internet has been restored. Let's get the facts right. The internet has been restored as we speak right now. The president has opened his door, open to dialogue to anyone. Nelson Chamisa MDC are not the only opposition party in Zimbabwe. We have 23, if not 22, opposition political parties. All those people are also invited. And if Nelson Chamisa is willing to move Zimbabwe forward, he should take that opportunity, come out and critique policies with the current government and work forward to make Zimbabwe great again.
But you can't confirm or